Hey Gary, this is Max Clausen, and I met you at the Pinery garage sale. I know that you're looking forward to your adventure of traveling around the country in your motorhome. So, I'm a realtor here in the Pinery. I've lived in the Pinery for more than 20 years, and I want to give you a market analysis, just give you a snapshot of what's going on in the Pinery. Now, I can't come up with a full market analysis unless I were to visit your property, come in and see its current condition, see how the location up against the Pinery Parkway affects your backyard, and some of the features that I wouldn't know about if I don't visit your house. So what I do is I go into public records and take what they supply. And so they give me the statistics on your house. At any time during this video, you can hit pause if I'm going too quickly through the data. And so anyway, I take this data from public records and I rely on the accuracy of that data. So I'm not sure how accurate that is. Sometimes they do have errors in that data. But I take that data and I do a search of the MLS. And what I did here is I just did a quick search of the Pinery looking for comparable homes. And the results I came up with, there's 5 active, 3 under contract, and 4 that have sold in the last 60 days. So I'm looking at the most up-to-date data. I'm only going back 2 months. We're in a very evolving market. It seems to be slowing down a little bit, but we're also getting the boost of the typical summer boost. But there's definitely some questions about our market right now. So I take this data and then I transport it and I put it into my own spreadsheet so I can better present the data. So here's what I have. I have your house in the Pinery. I'm looking at only 2-story homes in the last 60 days, and I'm looking for a certain size range above ground in the Pinery. So this is what I have. I on those searches, I came up with these 5. On average, they're 5 bedrooms like yours, 4 baths like yours, very similar square footage above ground. So they're very good comparable homes to look at. But these are active, and we don't know how these prices lie. They could be pie in the sky. They could be very aggressively priced. So actives are a different bird. If we look at the total square footage, they're a little bit larger than yours by, let's say, 500 to 600 square feet, and that's exactly right here. So we're showing that you have a pretty small basement in yours, and on average, the basement is about double size of what you have. So that's that discrepancy in the total square footage. The above grade square footage is very comparable. The finished square foot, they have a little bit more finish because they have a little bit more in the basement. On average, these active listings as of Wednesday are asking $520,000. Now, some of them have been on the market for quite a few days. This is days on the market, but on average they've been on the market for 22 days. So that number, as far as this is what they're asking, most likely the number that they sell for is going to be a little bit off of these numbers here. And these are the price per square foot above grade, price per square foot finished, and total. Those numbers really I just all of a sudden saw this number here and it seems way out of whack. We can't really apply those numbers unless I'm standing in your house and seeing, how the finish is on your house, and then I'd have to compare it to these others. And we'll do a little bit of comparison later on in this video. The lot size, yours is a little bit larger than average. I know you back to the open area, but you also side to the North Pinery Parkway there. The year, these are all right there in that same era of pretty much the start of the Pinery. So we don't know where these these numbers are going to end up. They're active, currently available. But when you place your house on the market, you have to place it in with the competition. You got to say, okay, if somebody's willing to spend $520,000 in the Pinery, how do I place mine so that it looks? It might not have quite the finishes, but we could add some value with the price. So we have to take those into account. These under contract properties, these are under contract. We don't know what the contract is. This is the asking price when they went under contract. So they're averaging 510. And I would imagine that the people weren't giving a whole lot of concessions on price in the less than, on average, 7 days on the market, let's say. So if we compare these under contracts, these are have one less bedroom on average, the same amount of baths. The square footage above grade is very comparable, within 120 square feet. The finished square footage is very comparable. And we get into this total square footage and the basement square footage, and yours just has that smaller basement. So it's not a big deal, but it's something that should be considered. I think people would rather have the above grade square footage above ground than basement square footage. But anyway, the lot size, these are some big lots. People were happy to put some under contract that had some pretty darn big lots in the Pinery. On average, these are a little bit newer than your house, and they were 1 week on the market. And now we come to the real numbers, the solds. So these solds are actually, we know the price that they sold for, and these are the prices that they sold for, not the prices that they were asking. So if we look at these 4 properties on average, they have one less bedroom than yours. The square footage above grade, very, very comparable. I'm feeling really good about these numbers here, or using these as comps. And then the finished square footage is a little bit smaller than your, or a little bit larger than yours. And again, we're going to go back to that basement and the total square footage. On average, these sold properties, and these are 4 two-story houses in the Pinery that sold in the last 60 days. And they averaged $511,750. The square footage, the above ground, the finished square footage, price per square foot, and the total price per square foot. Again, I have to apply those numbers. You know, some of them are going to be in rough shape, and some of them are going to be average, and some of them might be bells and whistles. So we have to look at that. On average, these that sold had smaller lots, significantly smaller lots. And they were a little bit newer houses. But when you get to that age of a house, you know, mine in the Pinery was built in 1984. You know, the difference between an 84 and an 85 or a 78 isn't a whole lot. So the days on the market was average right around a week on those. So this gives you a little bit of a breakdown. What I'd like to do now is take you to the MLS to show you a little bit about what has sold. So if we look at this property here on Hillside, and you know, we're going to compare it to yours. Again, I can't really compare it to yours. I've driven by it plenty of times, but I haven't been on the inside. So this one has quite a nice setting. Again, it's a very similar age. It has popcorn ceiling, a pretty basic light there. You know, the Home Depot lights. Looks like it has new carpeting. The kitchen has oak and then laminate top. You know, it's a fixed up laminate, but it's laminate. It's not fixed up, but higher grade Formica type stuff. And it has that older, you know, it's not as open as the modern houses. It's like my house in the Pinery, built in 1984. A little bit more segmented as far as the kitchen. and this house hasn't been modified or opened up. Looks like they have a laminate flooring in the living room. I think this is the door, the main door coming in. It might be coming from the garage. So you can see there's the kitchen. Looking out the back, looks like you got a pretty decent view at the back. We'll see that in a second. This is the master. You know, this isn't the kind of light fan fixture that people are choosing now with the tulipy light shades. But it looks like it has new carpet throughout. It looks like the kitchen or the bathroom here was reworked, but it does have oak and it has tile. This is a distorted camera angle. You know, it looks like this is super thin and super long, which it's not. So, popcorn on the ceiling again, kind of a painted wainscoting around the house. So I'm just trying to compare this so that you can see how it compares to yours and see what it's sold for. This is a very dated bathroom. The almost mauve, chocolatey mauve color tile. The drop ceiling, that's not what people are choosing now to put in their houses when they finish a basement. And then this is a bedroom that does not have, so it does, I was looking at this window and I didn't see the one right next to it. So it does have an egress window in it, but it has popcorn also in the basement. So it looks like it's a nice space, kind of a low ceiling in the basement. And then here's the backyard. Pretty nice large backyard. And that's that one on Hill Ridge. And if we go back, it's sold for $465. If we look at this next one on Stetson, and again, I want to just pull up the pictures. 2-car garage, has the scrub oak in the front. Pretty nice curb appeal. You know, it has this Mexican tile in here, and then this dust-catching shelf up here. So it's pretty dated. A lot of wood in there. It has the original, and that's how my house is and was, as far as that original stain pack, stain grade, kind of orangey color wood. And then they have the light fixtures there too. So it's a little bit dated in those colors of wood, and this Mexican tile is definitely a dated feature. But it looks clean and nice and ready to move into. Here's the kitchen. Looks like it's been upgraded. I think that's a granite countertop, but old appliances and, you know, the shelf with the microwave. It's definitely dated. It has the drop ceiling in the kitchen, like so many of the houses in the Pinery do have. So this is a bathroom that's been upgraded with some of the cosmetic features and the fixtures. So the lights are upgraded and the countertop and the mirror. And here's one that's pretty basic. I can't tell if these are original windows. They're not the wood windows that we typically find in the Pinery, but that would be the master. And then here's the backyard. It looks like you're kind of right on some neighbors. So there's an upgraded master bathroom. Here's the basement. Has a bar, has a bathroom. The light fixtures are pretty dated here. These those bulbs. And then I think that was linoleum on the floor. So here's the backyard, and you can see there's neighbors all around you on that one in the scrub oak. All right, and then the next one, so that one sold for $534. So if you look at, it was listed for $529, and it ended up selling for $5,000 more than their asking price. This next one is let's go back here. They were asking, when it went under contract, they were asking $480 approximately, and it ended up selling for $468. So again, pretty tight with your neighbors, at least on that side. You can kind of get a little bit of the lay of the land. There's neighbors all around. So they're really pumping the exterior of this one, and now we're in the interior. So wood floors, and looks like not brand new carpet, but again, it has that wooden stain pack, they called it when they put it in. It was an upgrade, the stain grade trim work versus paint grade. So very basic lighting. I think it does have popcorn, and I think these are the original windows. These are these wood windows that they put in the 1985 houses, that most of them are in need of replacement. Looks like they upgraded that kitchen, and it's kind of a mix of black and stainless, but they didn't remove the drop ceiling in the kitchen. And then they have cherry, which honestly has become dated in itself. So cherry was a big upgrade over oak, and now it's seen as dated. So it's a nice clean house, but the stone fireplace isn't what people would be choosing now. Again, this has been updated, but it's an old update, and it needs updated again in this bathroom. The wooden doors and the wooden windows, popcorn on the ceiling, some bright colors there that aren't what most people would choose. The basement has a garden level look to it. So there's that one. And I just want to show you these so you can compare to yours. And there's one more that has recently sold, and it's this one here. So it went on the market at $580, and it sold for $580, and it went under contract. The contract days on the market is 5 days on the market. So if we look at the photos on this, has a big yard. It's a 2-story with a walkout basement. A little bit more of a distance in between the neighbors, it looks like. A new modern kitchen with the white. White is kind of the thing right now, or at least the painted colors. But they left some of the soffits and the drop ceiling in there, it looks like. But it looks like they did quite a remodel on things. I can't tell if the doors, I think the doors and windows are newer. A lot of decking on this one, which can be nice, but is a lot of maintenance. It looks like they did quite a remodel on this house. New carpet and really nice new fixtures, if they're what you like. This painted wainscot. I think that it looks like they have older windows to some degree. I can't really tell. But pretty modern. They have that shiplap that comes off of the HGTV. So it looks like every room, whether it's the bathrooms or the basement, they left the popcorn in, but it looks like everything's been brought up to a recent remodel on this one for $580. So there you go. I think that summary kind of gives you a really good idea of what's going on in the neighborhood. The last 60 days of sales of comparable two-story homes of this similar size to yours have gone under contract and sold for right around $512. And but I need to come visit your house and see how it compares to these, and see how it is impacted by the location. What are some of the unique features, and what are the upgrades, and remodels that you've brought? So the other thing that I want to talk to you about is my offer of listing your house. It would be for a set fee. I feel that basing commissions on percent doesn't quite make sense. It doesn't. If I sell $1 million house or a $500,000 house, it doesn't take me twice as much work to come up with the photography and manage the transaction as a $500,000 house. It just doesn't. So I've calculated the expenses that it costs me to market the property. I do extensive internet marketing. I have very high quality photos, and I do all of that for a flat fee of $4,980. $4,980, and I believe that I market properties in a more technologically savvy way than the average realtor. This summary, this snapshot of the Pinery is just one example that the average realtor doesn't know how to do. So if you are interested, please give me a call. Again, my name is Max, and my phone number is 303-726-0867. 303-726-0867. Thanks a lot.